when word reached Robert Baratheon that Aerys II Targaryen had executed Rickard and Brandon Stark, something inside him hardened permanently. This was no longer about Lyanna. This was about blood. Robert did not hesitate. He rode hard for Storm's End, his ancestral seat, to raise his banners. Unlike Ned, who inherited through tragedy, Robert already ruled his lands. And the Stormlands were built for war. The Stormlords answered. Among the most notable bannermen who rose for Robert were House Cairn of Nightsong, fierce marcher lords hardened by border wars. House Dondarrion of Blackhaven, proud and quick to answer the call. House Eastermont, kin through Robert's mother. House Selmy of Harvest Hall, though divided, with Barristan still bound to the crown. House Swan of Stonehelm, disciplined and strong. House Tarth, whose later generations would still honor. Robert E.S. Cause, House Connington of Griffin, S. Roost. Though here lies complexity because not all the Stormlands followed Robert. John Connington, Lord of Griffin's Roost, remained fiercely loyal to Prince Rhaegar. He would later lead royal forces against Robert himself. So from the beginning, this was not a clean rebellion. It was brother against brother in the Stormlands. While Robert rode to war, his younger brother Stannis Baratheon was left to hold Storm's End. And here is where Stannis became forged. The Tyrells of the Reach, loyal to the crown, marched under Mace Tyrell and laid siege to Storm's End. They brought overwhelming numbers. Inside the castle were Stannis, the boy Renly Baratheon, still a child and a starving garrison. For nearly a year, Storm's End held. Stannis rationed food brutally. Horses were eaten, dogs were eaten, men grew thin. But Stannis did not surrender. He believed in law. He believed Robert was the rightful king once rebellion began, and he would not yield the castle their father built. The siege only ended when Davos Seaworth slipped past the Red Wine fleet and smuggled onions and salted fish into the starving fortress. That act saved Storm's End and saved Stannis' reputation. Robert would later knight Davos for it. Stannis would later cut the tips of Davos' fingers for his crimes. That is who Stannis was. Meanwhile, Robert moved fast. He won early engagements in the Stormlands, smashing royalist forces before they could consolidate. He fought not as a tactician like Tywin, nor as a patient commander like Ned. Robert fought like a storm. He wielded his massive warhammer, crushing armor and bone alike. He fought in the front lines. He laughed in battle. He bled with his men. His charisma was as dangerous as his hammer. Men did not just follow Robert. They believed in him. By the time the rebellion reached the Riverlands, Robert was no longer just a lord avenging Lyanna. He was a contender for the throne, because through his grandmother, Robert carried Targaryen blood, a distant but legitimate claim. And as Aerys descended further into madness, more lords began to see Robert not merely as a rebel, but as an alternative. The Stormlands had risen, the North had answered, the Vale had defied, the Riverlands were bound by marriage. The realm was dividing, and Robert Baratheon was becoming something larger than a grieving betrothed. He was becoming a symbol. Soon, he would earn the name. History remembers the Demon of the Trident.